you doing in my...
What the? Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I was just, reading. Yeah, anyway, today I'm here to speak about Shrek. You see, with Shrek 5 being recently announced, there is no better time to take a look at the black sheep of the franchise, Shrek the Third, a movie so bad it makes me want to kill Shrek for even starring in it. Hypothetically, of course. Released back in 2007, Shrek the Third, despite making money at the box office, was universally disliked, and myself being a mega Shrek fan, I was very disappointed. So join me as I tear apart exactly what makes this movie so damn awful, because believe me, there is a lot. And by the end of this review, you'll understand what went wrong with Shrek the Third. Before I tear this movie apart, here is a super quick plot summary. When King Harold suddenly croaks, Shrek learns he will have to rule the land of far, far away unless he can find a suitable heir to the throne. The most promising candidate is Princess Fiona's cousin Artie, a teenage slacker in a medieval high school. Shrek and his most trusted companions, Donkey and Puss, set out to bring Artie back, but find that their mission is a bigger challenge than they expected. So there's a general outline of this movie's plot, and I guess a good place to start would be the movie's pacing. Shrek the Third struggles to maintain a cohesive and engaging narrative flow. The film grapples with several subplots that lack seamless integration. This results in a sense of disconnection within the narrative. For example, the main character Shrek remains oblivious to the movie's central threat until 3/4 into the story. This delayed awareness on the part of the protagonist not only makes the threat less impactful, as Shrek has less screen time to comprehend it, it makes the movie feel incredibly rushed. Like it feels as if, from Shrek's perspective, this whole Prince Charming ordeal was over within a few hours. Very lackluster indeed. A better storytelling approach would have had Shrek becoming aware of the main threat earlier in the plot, as this would not only enhance the overall narrative flow, but we would get more time to see Shrek dealing with the events. Now let's speak about my least favourite element of this movie, Prince Charming. Shrek is usually known for its great villains, so it's no surprise that the worst Shrek movie also contains the worst villain. Let's break it down. Firstly, he is a rehashed villain from Shrek 2. That's a bad move because we have already experienced this villain in a much better movie. Secondly, he wasn't meant to be the leading man. The fairy godmother was the one who wore the pants, she was the threat and he was only a pawn in her twisted game. If he ever became king, she would have been the one controlling him from the sidelines. He's also incredibly stupid, like when he lets Artie go because Shrek pretends to be mad at him, or that he believes that he stabbed Shrek at the end. All of these factors make him less menacing and memorable. It seems like a waste to rehash Prince Charming when they could have come up with a cool new villain instead. Who the hell is that? Oh shit, it's Donkey. He's probably looking for Shrek. Just hold on a second, I'll be right back.
Shrek!
It's not Shrek.
Oh no, help!
Anyway, as I was saying, another thing Shrek is known for is its humour. But Shrek the Third relied more on pop culture references and less on the clever wit seen in the previous films. Not to mention they recycled old jokes as if they couldn't come up with new ones.
Shrek, what are you doing?
Oh, come on, I was just kidding.
What about this?
Shrek?
Oh, come on, it's just a joke.
Instead of introducing new, inventive comedic elements, the third installment leaned on familiar gags and references, potentially giving the impression that the creative well had run dry. It also looks worse, like the animation and visual style is legitimately worse somehow. The models were so boring and forgettable. Take a look at Lancelot or the new main Artie. They look so generic, compared to the main human characters of the past, who actually had time put into them to make them stand out. These new designs are so forgettable. The film also introduced new characters and placed more focus on them. This diluted the charm of the core Shrek ensemble. Instead of more memorable scenes between Shrek, Puss and Donkey, we get heaps of scenes with the princesses. That would have been fine in small doses, but a good portion of the runtime is dedicated to them and it feels like a wasted opportunity. Plus we get minimal Shrek and Fiona interaction. Their dynamic in the first two movies was what carried the emotional resonance of the film. Another new character was the insufferable Artie. He just moped around like a teenager and it was so lame. And the speech at the end of the film was too heavy-handed. The whole character just doesn't work for me. What is it now? Puss in Boots? Damn it, I'm really getting into trouble here. I need a bathroom break. Give me a moment.
Hola, mis amigos.
End of the line, kitty. Let's get back to the review. Shrek the Third faced the formidable challenge of following two highly successful films, Shrek and Shrek 2, which are now celebrated for their profound moral messages. Shrek's journey in the first installment promotes self-acceptance.
I'm supposed to be beautiful.
But you are beautiful.
While Shrek 2 builds on these themes, emphasizing love and tolerance.
With the ogre I married.
Whatever happens, I must not cry. You cannot make me cry.
However, Shrek the Third struggles to match this emotional depth. It attempts to navigate hierarchy and responsibility. The film's message is far less compelling, and it fails to strike the same chord as its predecessors. Shrek's attempt to connect with Arthur and explore their shared unpreparedness for responsibility had potential, but the execution in a very forced heart-to-heart between them came off as corny and lacked the genuine impact seen in earlier films. Another thing about this film is that it can be skipped entirely and nothing is missed. Seriously, at the start of Shrek 4, it shows us that Shrek has kids, so no need to see that in Shrek 3. Also, none of the characters from Shrek the Third are even in Shrek 4, as if it was so bad they wanted to forget about it. So if you skip Shrek 3, you won't be confused at all by watching Shrek 4. They even made Rumpelstiltskin the villain in Shrek 4, despite another version of him appearing in Shrek 3, because even they knew no one would remember. Still don't believe me that this movie is bad? Well, don't take my word for it. Let's take a look at some of the reviews. This movie feels like non-canon filler arc. When I'm rewatching Shrek Trilogy, I'm skipping this movie and watch Shrek Forever After. This movie just doesn't exist for me. This movie deactivated my hormones. This movie was literally the worst DreamWorks ever for the thousands. If you like this movie, something is wrong with yous.
Despicable, detestable, unholy, and affront to God in heaven. An unimaginable behemoth of evil incarnate, a void to despair and misery. May sweet Lord Jesus forgive my transgression of watching such a foul sin of a moving picture.
My wife's son thoroughly enjoyed it though. So you can see, I'm not the only one who doesn't enjoy this movie.
It's over for you! This is the police!
Oh crap, it's the police. I'm screwed. Well, I'm going to have to run, but before I leave, let me leave you with this. In conclusion, Dissecting Shrek the Third reveals a series of shortcomings that contributed to its status as the black sheep of the franchise. From disjointed pacing and a lackluster villain in Prince Charming, the film fell short of the standards set by its predecessors. The introduction of forgettable side characters and a struggle to convey the same profound moral messages further compounded its issues. Shrek the Third feels like the unnecessary detour in the Shrek saga. Whether you skip it entirely or find moments of enjoyment, one thing remains clear. Shrek the Third remains a divisive and forgettable chapter in the beloved Shrek universe. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more videos. But as for now, don't forget to stay critical. And that's the end of the show.